Welcome to the inaugural episode of Tech Aspirants 2.0, the podcast that delves deep into exciting world of technology, hackathons, college placements, and more. I am Upshika Anand, the Chief Editor of CSI UMIT, host for today's episode, along with my co-host Lakshya Chopdar, the Creative Head of CSI UMIT, and we are thrilled to embark on this journey with you to explore the dynamic intersection of innovation and career opportunities in the tech realm. In each episode, we'll be joined by some incredible guests who will share their valuable insights, success stories, and tips for leveraging hackathons to supercharge your college placements. Whether you are a seasoned hacker looking to level up your skills or a curious student navigating the vast tech world, this episode promises to be an illuminating experience. So grab your headphones, settle into your favorite listening spot, and prepare to embark on this journey with us. In today's episode, we'll be shedding light on an increasingly popular avenue for tech enthusiasts and college students alike, hackathons. These high-energy collaborative coding competitions have revolutionized our thinking about problem solving, creativity, and hands-on learning in the digital age. But what do hackathons mean for your college journey? How can they impact your future prospects? These are the questions we'll be tackling head-on.
Allow me to
So,
introduce an exceptional individual who has not only made her way but thrived in the tech industry. She is an esteemed alumni of UMIT, where she excelled academically and served as the junior council member for the CSI Council. Her passion for technology and coding led her to co-found CodeChef UMIT. But her achievements don't stop there. She is a true hackathon champion, having secured victory in over 10 hackathons, showcasing her skills in creative problem solving and coding expertise. Her journey in the tech industry has been nothing short of impressive. She clinched an internship at Barclays. She has taken the next step in her career, working full time as a software engineer at Visa, where she continues to make waves in the ever evolving world of technology. Her story is a source of inspiration for all of us and a testament to what dedication and hard work can achieve in the software engineering field. She believes in programming to transform people's lives for the good. Here we present Miss Anika Tibrewala. Welcome to the podcast, Dee.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. And it is such a
uh,
great initiative to see, like the podcast in general from councils from our college. So absolutely excited to like begin with this.
Yes, Dee, we are also excited for this.
very excited, actually. So, we'll start with the questions. Okay.
Yeah,
So first of all, Dee, how was your experience at UMIT? How did it shape your path? And could you please share some highlights with us?
yeah, absolutely. So, just to share a little background with you, when I joined college, I had some experience with respect to coding. Like I had CS as my subject. So when I joined, I wanted to learn a lot more on the application side of it. I was a little confused as to like how these things are actually used in real life. So I think definitely, these 4 years in general have shaped, like the entire experience of mine, into, like being pretty transformative as an experience, be it, like on the academic side, professional side, or on the leadership front as well. I think it definitely helped me to explore a lot of new arenas in general. So when I joined, I would say that I was more of a consumer. Like I was getting to know from people as to, okay, fine, this is what programming is, this is what we do. But as things have progressed, as I've gained a little bit more experience with things, as I was exposed with a lot of, let's say, leadership roles with respect to these communities and the councils we have, or like at our campus, it definitely helped me to uh, get to learn a lot more skills. And of course, like the opportunities that I was able to grab through this entire experience have been the cherry on the top, I would say, that has been an amazing experience as well. So yeah, absolutely. I think we'll be discussing more about that in detail in further questions as well.
Your words were really inspiring me. So, Acha, I would like to know that were there any mistakes that you did through your coding journey that you would advise aspiring programmers to avoid?
Yeah, like one thing that I say this to every second person who's asking me is that don't ever write code that you're not understanding. Okay, like be it even a single line of code, just like you go at it with it if you are understanding it, if you know in and out what is happening. Don't do anything without understanding. That is like one thing that I've followed, and it has helped me a lot with respect to like understanding a lot of things. And like as I shared, right, with respect to my journey at college as well, I think it is very important to understand that there is no single path in tech. Okay, so there's like what happens, I think, is, let's say when you're coming year into the third or fourth year, you get to know about internships and placements, and like there are people who have a lot more interest, like not exactly in, let's say DSA, or they might be more interested in the dev aspect of it, and that is completely fine. So at least now I would say that there is no single path in tech, because you have hackathons, you can reach out to people, you have public forums where you can network with people, showcase your work. And yeah, like I think this is a very important thing, because then you will be very confident in what you're good at, right? Like you don't have to do the same thing what everyone else is doing, but do whatever you are good at. But yeah, like coming to the main like question as you asked, right? The mistakes that I think I've observed with my experience, as well as like a lot of folks around me. I think one of the things that happens, is the fear of failure. I think with respect to, let's say that you are trying to participate in a hackathon, or you're trying to just start off with some lead code questions or something else, right? What happens is initially you might get started with it. It might not work out in the best favor. Let's say if you're lead coding, initial questions will be hard, of course. You'll take some time. So, like what happens is there is not a continuity, because you might, like because you are not observing that scale of progress. So I would say that, think of it more as a coding as a learning process, and, errors are something that are inevitable. So of course, like, you have to embrace them as opportunities. Fears, like the failures are something that will teach you some of the greatest lessons. So don't let them hinder your progress, but let them help you to achieve something even greater than them. And yeah, like of course, other than them, I think like a lot of times I tend to like initially I had a habit of working in isolation. I thought that like of course I could figure out everything on my own, but of course like with respect to the community culture, and of course the amazing culture that we have on campus as well, I think the coding community in general is vast and supportive. So something that will help you all is to engage in like various discussion forums that are there online, or join various communities with respect to whatever your interests are. That will help you find like-minded folks. And let's say you're stuck on something, don't hesitate to seek help. So these forums or communities will help you to resolve these issues, and of course like collaboration as well. So and of course like once you are working on some projects together or collaborating with someone, it will help you to accelerate your learning process as well. And yeah, another thing I would say is rushing up too much. So what happens is when you want to build something that is very very complex, I think at least I did that I sometimes neglected to strengthen my fundamentals. I was very excited to build something that like that would have been a very cool project in general, but in like in pursuit of making that entire thing, I sort of rush the process where I was trying to understand the fundamentals of that thing. So yeah, I mean, focus and try to give a lot more time on understanding the basics of, let's say, data structures and algorithms. It's very crucial. If you're working on some project, right, then try to give yourself time to read through the documentation and understand it first, rather than just jumping onto the thing, right? Like, that will give you some breather, like some time to understand that thing, and will help you to resolve any issues faster in general. And while we are at it, as I mentioned, documentation, right? So yeah, like, so basically what happens is, let's say you're stuck on some error, or you are going through some lead coding problems. Try to document your journey. Like, try to let's say you have some solution in your mind. Try to write it down in some clear and concise steps, because what happens is, once you document this entire process, this will help you understand your own work, but it also serves as a valuable reference for yourself in future. Because of course, there's gonna be some time where you might not remember what is the approach you used to solve some issue in the past. So documentation is very important on the personal front, and I think I've realized this, the importance of documentation when it comes to the professional front of it, because there are going to be times where you are going to be stuck with some of the other things, and documenting it not only helps you, but it helps others as well, right? Because you might actually like work out in some other issue as well, your approach altogether. So documentation is a huge plus. And yeah, other than that, I would say soft skills are very important. I mean, of course, coding is very important, absolutely, but it is not just writing code, right? Effective communication and collaboration is equally important, in my opinion. So spend some time on developing good communication skills and ability to work in a team environment. It is very, very crucial. And like, when it comes to a professional setting, I would say that not only writing your code, but being able to communicate your code, like, in a very effective manner, that is very, very important. um and yeah, I think the last point I would say would be, like, consistency is the key. So I definitely went through phases where, like, I had some intense practice followed by a period of
Mm,
relative or a lot more inactivity
mm,
altogether. So, like, regularly or consistently practicing more is very, very, like, a lot more effective, of course, than, like, just some small bursts of, like, practicing in general, like, whatever it is. So, like, of course, consistent practice is going to help you set some dedicated time. Something that helped me was Google Calendars. So try scheduling some time for you, and try to like, just set that time for you to do that particular amount of work. That will help you a lot in the like, continuous journey of improvement. And of course, to add on to that, don't be too hard on yourself. Mistakes will happen. Just learn from them, and like, iterate. Just keep pushing forward. Uh, then don't hesitate to ask for help. People are out there, a lot of helpful folks out there. Yeah.
yes, see, that's a really great advice. I especially, love the one where you said that, we should not directly copy code and understand it, because usually in labs, what we do, ma'am gives us the code, we execute it, and go home. So, that's really great. Great. Now we should
Mhm.
understand every piece of code. Okay,
Absolutely.
the yes, the. So moving forward, you were a part of two councils in your college years. So how did it shape in your personal and professional growth?
Right. So I would say that this is a little bit of, like, the with respect to councils, firstly, it
Mm,
depends on your interest, like
mm,
how you view it. Let's say you are interested into more of a creative work, then you
mm,
might delve into creative side of it. If you are interested into
mm,
technical side of it, then you might want to delve into some technical front of whatever work that council supports. So
mm,
I think like if there is someone who is making this decision, I would say that first analyze it. For me, it was like initially in my first year, I did not know what these councils are doing, what is the entire like motto around it, and what I'm gonna be doing if I join it. So of course, do your own research before jumping into anything, because it is going to take your time and it is going to take a lot more effort. So it is very important to analyze whatever you are doing is helping you or not, and take a lot more conscious decision if you do want to continue with it or not. That is very important, I would say. So with respect to the two experiences I had, initially I was part of CSI, that is Computer Society of India. And of course, it was definitely a great experience. But as I said, it was not something that helped me on the professional side of it. But like as the saying goes, you can only connect dots looking backwards. So I think at that point in time, I was part of the sponsorship side of it, and I had to make like hundreds of calls. So speaking to people outside my college professionally, representing our like the council altogether, and being able to ask them for sponsorship, like sell the entire idea altogether. So that helped me to build that confidence and that great speaking skills, I would say, to start off with at least. So yeah, I mean, that was something that helped me a lot. And of course, I was representative from my class altogether. So there was some sort of leadership initiative as well. So I think, yeah, that was the biggest takeaway for me. And secondly, I think, like the biggest change or sort of revolution, would I say, for me was that, I came in with a perspective where I was a student when I joined college, right? But and I had been a little bit into coding side of it, as I shared. Codeship was something that that I was involved in with, like about 2 or 3 years at least. So during pandemic, there was some initiative by Codeship that we could uh, perhaps bring their coding culture to our campus altogether. And I saw it as an opportunity, right? So one thing that you have to keep in mind is the sky's the limit, right? I mean, of course, like you have to think from other point of view as well. And of course, this mindset itself helped me to establish this entire community on campus. I noticed that people were not much aware about like competitive programming or DSA in general as well. They only came to realize this when they were coming to third or fourth year, when they had to give like some tests for placements. So it is very crucial, it is very important, and realizing this a little late might be with that. And of course, the leadership opportunity that I had in our college, I was able to establish this club, lead this as a founder as well, and like delve into different fronts of it. So not only technical, but something that allowed me to experiment as well as impact the people how I wanted them to impact. So that is definitely a huge part where I was able to learn a lot of things, and I was able to connect with a lot of people. I didn't even know. I mean, of course, it was COVID, so everything was virtual, and I didn't even know from which part of India people were joining. And we got to know in some sessions randomly that people were joining from IITs, NITs. They were asking questions, and to be able to see that like even though it had been just a few months after I started that entire council altogether, that initiative could impact so many people. That itself was something that motivated me to do a lot more. So of course, to wrap this up, I would say that it helped me. These two experiences for me helped me on the leadership front of it. They helped me to like get to know about more about the leadership side of it, how it works, how you can handle people as well, and it helped me to make a lot more on the side of community impact, which I definitely wanted to do, given that the culture that we had on campus. I wanted to transform it, and it was a way for me to impact a lot of students in campus and beyond. It gave me a lot of networking opportunities. So when we were hosting sessions and when I was, like speaking at a few of these sessions, it gave me an opportunity to connect with a lot more people. So that is something that is, is very, very important as well. And of course, it helped me to enhance my communication skills. So hosting and speaking at events definitely required some, some effective communication to be happening. And whether it was explaining the coding concepts to, beginners or some advanced topics. So it helped me to, prep on both of them. And you definitely learn more, I think, when you are presenting some idea to someone. And yeah, on the professional exposure as well, I was able to connect with a lot of folks and gain a lot more skills in general with respect to events that I was hosting. So of course, yeah, like these have been a lot of on the experience side of it, something that helped me. Yeah.
Actually, one question. Since you were a part of so many
Mhm.
hackathons, what were the main projects that you were involved in, and what were the domains that they covered?
Right. So with respect to the hackathons in general, I would say that you know it depends actually. Um, it depends on the hackathon. Some of these hackathons might actually have some themes in general. Like let's say they might have some theme for solving problems only on some specific set of people, some real life problems that people might be facing. This happens in a lot of hackathons on national level that happen. So it depends on the hackathons, but yeah, like if I am to to just delve into it a lot more, I would say that team formation, that is like one thing that is very important. And a lot of these hackathons, it's okay if you're going alone, and they might have some they might have a group of people already. They have a lot of these hackathons that I've been to, they will try to match me up with random people altogether. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's always great to have a team that you might have freehand. So let's say I am good at XYZ and my teammate is good at some other things, and we collaboratively work on them together. So that is definitely one thing that helps. But even if you're alone, don't restrict yourself to participate, because you know what happened with me is, let's say I am into a team of 4 people where I don't know the 3 people. If they are experienced, if they know some other technologies, either I'll try to use whatever I know and contribute to the project if they already have some idea. If that is not the case, so this was one of the hackathons where I was I was with 2 university fresh joinees. And again, like I knew a little bit around Angular, and what I did through that weekend was build a project, and I also shared with them so that they were able to pick up that entire thing in like a weekend or so. So definitely it's either learning something or sharing something across, and both of them are pretty valuable. So that definitely helps. And of course, communication is very, very important. So please establish very clear communication channels, whatever it is. Don't keep it ambiguous. Whatever it is, like you have to plan it. Okay, you have limited time. Let's say it's 48 hours. You have less amount of time, and what is going to help you is planning freehand. So whenever the hackathon starts, I think I definitely take some time to plan. Okay, fine. This is the time where we need to cover this much amount of things. So and communicating that clearly is very important. And of course, I think communication also delves on the side of the brainstorming aspect of it. So the idea generation and I think with respect to my experience, I think more or less it has been to identify a real world problem. So I think there has been some quote that I read that said every problem that you face is a startup idea. So first thing is the idea generation. Try to have a dedicated time where you all are brainstorming together, and you are trying to solve some or the other problem, be it in the theme that they have given you, or something else. And of course, try to also, if you have time, try to delve on the impact and the innovation side of it. Because why I'm saying that is because, judges often appreciate projects that bring something new to the table while addressing a practical need. So, that is something that is very, very important. And as you try to delve into these discussions, you'll find that there are a lot of problems that are yet to be solved. And I myself have seen a lot of hackathon ideas actually being implemented into a startup idea. So don't go with a mindset that, okay, fine, this is a 48 hours thing. I'll build something that is an MVP and it ends there. Don't do that to your project. Take it with you, like it's like a journey. So try to take it across and build something that is impactful. That is something that is on the personal side of it, right? And yeah, on the hackathons with respect to the project execution, for me at least, I think what we do is identify tasks. Okay, now, I mean, yeah, like this is something that, like, if you see it on the professional front of it, people do that. People will be like, oh, fine, you're supposed to work on these tasks. This is the time that you might take to work on them. Similarly, in hackathons, it is very important to draw the lines of what you are working on and how much time it might take you, because again, it is a part of the planning. So yeah, I mean, follow some, follow some process wherein you might be able to manage your tasks with respect to other participants. I use Google Docs, and we used to highlight, like, okay, fine, this is the pink one which Anika will be working on. This is the one my friend will be working on. And we used to mark them green once it is complete, so that everyone knows that, okay, fine, these are the things, or set of things that are complete. So that will help you to execute things faster, keep things clear between the entire team, and try to leverage your existing skills. They help. So in hackathons, time is very important, although it might be very, very useful to learn something new, but it might take you a little bit more time to implement something on top of something that you have recently learned, right? So take your time with it, but it depends on how you are participating in the hackathon. If you have less time, then it might not be the best idea, I would say. And yeah, I think other than that, on the collaboration side of it, I would like to comment that like, try to have regular check-ins. For me, at least, what worked was, I mean, I don't know how good it is, but we used to have like meetings till what we had a Google Meet. We were all a part of it. We used to just take breaks for having some food, or if we have some work. But we used to be on those meets continuously until, let's say, 3 or 4 a.m. or whatever it is, till whenever we are working. And then again, from the next morning, we used to start off building something together. This helped to understand that, okay, fine, everyone is working together. And if you want to communicate something ASAP, you can do that. So, like, that worked for me, may or may not work for you. So, of course, have some regular check-ins and have some collaborative sessions which can, like, lead for a stronger product, I would say. And divide responsibilities, and learning. So presentation is equally important as the 48 hours or whatever time span you would have invested in building your product. So what happens is the product is as good as you are able to sell it. If you are able to like, share with a very clear and compelling narrative altogether with respect to your presentation, if you are able to clearly articulate the problem, the solution, and the impact you are bringing with it, it will help you to like, it will help you to communicate that very clearly in a storytelling way, I would say, to the judges, and they'll be able to relate to your solution a lot more. And yeah, like, with respect to demos as well, try to deploy your solution. So as part of, like, while I've been judging a lot of the projects, what happens is, if the project is actually deployed somewhere, I can just go and then just check the MVP, understand that, okay, fine, this is how it works. I might spend some extra time and some extra effort to actually understand that solution. So that is a pro tip, of course. And like on the learning front of it, treat hackathon like a learning opportunity always. So whether you win or not, the skills and experiences gained during the hackathon contribute to your growth. And as a developer, as a problem solver, it will help you a lot, So I mean, of course, as I shared, failures are the biggest part of where you can like learn from. So yeah, in essence, excelling in hackathons requires like a combination of um, team collaboration, innovation, and then coding practices that are effective, good communication skills, and yeah, just take it as a learning opportunity, give it a go. Don't self-reject it, like that's what I did. I just gave it a go, and since then I've been participating in a lot of them. So yeah, I think that's on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for those tips. Can you also share some notable projects you worked on during hackathon?
Yeah. So on project side, I would say that it depends. Like for me, one of the project that I was working on is something that actually started off as an internal idea. As I shared, we were just having some brainstorming sessions, and we realized that the project was more around building a healthcare platform for the COVID challenges with respect to the elderly people. And this was something that we all felt. We were not, like let's say if we take our grandparents, we are not able to connect with them as much. And even if we might be able to, the people who are currently working might not be with respect to, like that time where in the pandemic time, people were a lot these people were not near their grandparents and they were not able to, are you taking medicines on time, are their appointments going on time or not, and like stuff like that. So during this during this brainstorming sessions, we try to come up with various problems that might have been there and then try to build a solution around it. So like that had been a plus. And then I would say, like this is one of the points that I wanted to highlight as well. Try to like don't try to learn technologies because you want to learn, let's say you want to learn React, so you will learn React, but try to see the use cases and then learn, because that will help you to understand, okay, fine, why is this helpful, why is this helpful in this particular scenario. So coming to my project, we identified a set of technologies, and like why they were required specifically for our project altogether. So there were a lot of things that we used, and of course, again, as I would say, as any other project, it was more on the learning side of for me at least. So I was able to build on the go, understand, refer a lot of documentation, and then of course, like see some errors, solve them, Stack Overflow, come back to project, build it. Is this looking good? Have discussions, and then keep on building. And yeah, I think on what happened with this project is we were actually able to, like we collaborated with a lot of folks and we were actually able to finish it up and have an end-to-end project. We were able to receive a grant from IEEE for this project, and we also were able to publish a paper on this idea. So like it took a lot of time. It definitely took me some time to like have discussions, right? Like when it comes to papers, you have to write and you have to explain your solution very clearly. So yeah, I think it helped me to delve into different aspects of it when it comes to a project. So don't think of it as like something that might end in like 48 hours or a few days, but try to like take it as a journey, as a project journey in itself, and it will help you in ways you might not have seen it coming. Yeah.
Your words were really inspiring. I'd like to conclude that thank you so much, Anika, for joining us today and sharing your invaluable insights with our listeners. The knowledge that you shared was really, really helpful. It was great having you on board.
Thank you so
And
much
to
for
our
having me. It was great pleasure to be here, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience for me as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And to our dear listeners, we hope you found this episode as enlightening, as inspiring as we did. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes. We are here to serve you and bring you the information and guidance you need. Thank you for tuning in to Tech Experience 2.0. Until next time, take care. Thank you.